This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Paranormal Stakeout. I'm your host, Larry Lawson, coming to you from the Southern Command Post of the X-Zone Broadcast Network down here in Vero Beach and Fellsmere, Florida. Great to be back with you. A little hiatus there as we finished our fourth annual Paranormal Unity Conference here in Fellsmere, Florida, just a weekend or so ago. So it's great to be back with everyone and to help us wrap that whole weekend up and talk about some of the great things that are going to happen in the future that we're going to spearhead here on Paranormal Stakeout in the paranormal world. Got Rob McConnell back tonight to go over things with us and just hash out the future. Rob, welcome back to Paranormal Stakeout.
Hey, Larry. First of all, I'd like to thank you and the members of the Florida Paranormal Bureau of Investigation for the great time that we had in Fellsmere, Laura, and I appreciate everything you guys did for us. We had a great time at Captain Hiram's. It's a wonderful place, and what can I say about Marsh Landing except the food and the people there? 26 stars across the board, yeah. And to you, my friend, congratulations on a job well done with the fourth annual Treasure Coast Paranormal Unity Conference. You did a great job, Larry, and Laura, your two sons, and the rest of your gang. Super people.
Yeah, I've got a great crew down here. I want to thank everybody that was involved in the fourth annual Paranormal Conference. Our friends from all over the state were here, and it was a great time, and it was very successful. I think the best part about it, Rob, the thing I liked the most was we really had folks talking about unity and sharing and really grasping that concept that we've got to all be on the same page.
That is so true. That is so true. And it was nice to see the positive response of people, because in the past, I know for a fact that members of paranormal groups at times are very reluctant to share information because for some reason they think that they get the smoking gun, they get the TV show, they get all the money and the fame, and they're living in a world that doesn't exist. They're delusional because that doesn't happen.
Well, yeah, and let's face it, those folks that get the opportunity, if you want to call it that, to get on the TV show, they're few and far between. Even the most successful groups rarely get that opportunity, so that should not be the focus of what they're doing. The focus should be, what are we doing to solve this age-old riddle? What's on the other side? And we've all got to come together to find that answer, to work together as a team. And I think this was a great start.
I do too, Larry. And I was talking to Richard Sennett earlier tonight on my show, and I've known Richard for 20-some-odd years. He is, along with Lloyd Auerbach and Hans Holzer, the top, I'd say he's in the top 10 when it comes to investigating, as well as he's a great author. He's got many books, and he shares information wherever he goes. And I was thrown back because we were talking about paranormal groups, and of course your name came up and the great job that you did last 2 weekends ago in Fellsmere. Or is it last weekend? Last weekend. Oh, geez, my gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked about you, and he shares a lot of the values that you do when it comes to investigating the paranormal and the sharing of information. And one thing that he told me that really blew me away, Larry, was in southern Los Angeles. I'm not talking about Southern California. I'm just talking about the city of Los Angeles. Southern Los Angeles. There are over 1,500 paranormal groups.
Oh yeah, I'm actually not surprised by that, Rob. Many of those groups are mom and pop operations. I would say probably most of them with great intentions.
Yep.
But they're a lot of them are maybe for some personal entertainment. They just enjoy it. Some of them don't have the right kind of training. They don't have the understanding of what it means to collaborate with others. And that's what we got to do is bring groups like that in. But there's lots of groups out there. They just don't know how to connect. And some of them just haven't had the opportunity for training and haven't had the opportunity to work with more experienced groups. So that's one thing that my vision is to bring all these groups together for the purpose of collaboration. That's where it's at, Rob.
That's where it's at, and it's going to be a work that is not going to happen overnight. We all realize this. There's going to be a lot of resistance. Mm-hmm. There's going to be people who will not be able to understand that sharing is the way to solve anything, as you and I have discussed many times when we were in the police force. You share the information. Right. And the smoking gun is not going to lead to fame and fortune. It's not going to, because the question that is going to be answered is there life after death? That is the question we are all trying to answer. Because whether you call yourself a ghostbuster, whether you call yourself a ghost hunter, whether you call yourself a paranormal researcher, when it comes to the phenomena that we know as ghosts, that is the question that we all seek the answer to. Is there life beyond? Yeah.
And until we as a field understand that and come together. There's a gentleman, Brian Cano, I don't mind using his name, really a professional in this field, really a man that I highly respect, has the same belief, has the same vision, but has talked about the difficulty in getting people to the point where the egos are out of the way, and we share this information, and we become one.
You see, that's just not in the research of ghosts that you see this. It's in every aspect of the paranormal. Every aspect, whether it's UFOs, whether it's Bigfoot, whether it's Loch Ness Monster, whether it's finding if Winnie the Pooh actually was a real entity. You've got the ego factor, and where you have ego, you have dissent, and this is something that we are going to have to try and overcome. And there are going to be people who are going to be approached who will resist like crazy. But you know what? That's okay, because I believe that using the methodologies that you have talked about over the years that I've known you, your professionalism, and the way that you conduct your own group, my gosh, it's a winning combination. So yes, there's going to be resistance. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to look at what you're going to be doing and how you're doing it, and there's going to be the resistance because there's envy.
Well, and I don't know that, Robin, I don't know that this is just in even the paranormal field. I think it's in many ways, it's human nature in many ways. In all kinds of operations and goals, there are people out there that have the ego, they want to be first. So I don't think it's just germane to our field, but I don't care what other people do. We've got to get it fixed here.
Well, I'm sorry, Larry. The way I see it being focused on our field is because this is the field that you and I deal in.
Absolutely.
But there's also the fact that all these TV shows are feeding false information, not only to the public, but to the groups themselves.
Agreed.
And I was speaking to somebody today, and I won't mention their name because the information was told to me in confidence, that they were approached by a television production facility in the States and asked if they had any video footage of ghosts. The person said no. And then the TV producer said, well, could you fake a couple for us? And he said point blank, no way, hung up the phone. And he was highly insulted that this television producer from a very well-known TV show actually asked them to fake footage.
Well, see, that doesn't surprise me, Rob. Let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I differ a little bit on this. I think there is actually a place for this type of entertainment. I think it's done a lot to help make the field a little bit more. People are taking it a little bit more seriously. That's the good side.
No, wait a sec. You're saying the people are taking it more seriously.
Well,
who are the people?
Maybe that, go ahead,
who are the people? Those who believe and those who want to believe, or John Q. Public, who has never been introduced to this before?
And I think that's where the shows have helped. I think it's brought it more mainstream. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. But here's where the problem lies. Mm-hmm. The TV producers, they want something that's going to sell, and the only way they're going to make it sell is if they have something happen. So they're encouraging this exaggeration, between exaggeration and flat out faking it. And the public's got to realize that these shows are entertainment, period.
Well, I disagree with you, and I'll give you my reasons.
Okay.
I was part of Creepy Canada for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was the consultant to the producers. Brian O'Day, a brilliant producer. Bill Burke, a brilliant producer. What they did is they did not go out on ghost hunts. They realized as producers, and as we discussed during production meetings, it's impossible to give any credibility to a show in 22 minutes or 44 minutes when,
absolutely,
in fact, nothing may happen.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did is they focused on past events, past
mm-hmm.
hauntings across Canada. And that was a brilliant thing because the events had already happened. They were reported. They were well-known events. And it was reenacted to the best of the ability based on the information that we had access to. But when you see these guys, these yahoos, like, why do they all wear these tacky T-shirts and these hats and the sunglasses? They look like morons.
Well, I think, and I agree with you, and I think you miss my point a little bit. You're 100% right. I like actually those shows that recreate for the same reasons you just described. A lot of the shows that are out there showing it happening in real time, people don't understand that's entertainment, and producers want things to happen. I mean, we've heard many stories. You and I both have heard many stories about how producers have made a noise or done something just to have some. That folks have got to realize that's entertainment and not take it that seriously. So but the shows that sell, all these shows have made the field a little more mainstream. Now that's my very narrow area of where I think they're helpful.
I agree. They have made it more mainstream, but in my opinion, having been in broadcasting since 1981, they have also done a lot to discredit the hard work and the dedication of real paranormal investigators.
And I agree with you. I guess I'm just looking at maybe the glass being a quarter full, so to speak. But I other than it being entertainment, it has done harm. There's no doubt about it. People see it and they believe it, and then they find out that folks have faked it, and it does hurt our credibility. There's absolutely no question about that. So what we've got to do is we've got to reel all that in and get the folks that are serious about the field. All these 1,500 teams in Southern California.
No, it's Southern Los Angeles.
Southern Los Angeles, sorry. Oh, and I just saw something here. We're about ready to come up on our first break. We got talking, and we're running a little bit late. So, folks, stay with us. I got Rob McConnell. We got lots to talk about the future of paranormal research and investigation and where we're going to go with it and where we're going to take it. So hang with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling
213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
And we are back on Paranormal Stakeout. It's your host, Larry Lawson, with my guest tonight to follow up all the fun and games we had in Fellsmere, our very own, the man, the myth, the legend, Rob McConnell. Rob,
yes, buddy.
Great conversation at that first half.
Yeah.
I want to continue on with this a little bit. I want to talk about the TV world. Lord knows, you've had so many years in the broadcast business.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the biggest? I mean, we've talked about the fakes and whatnot. What is the biggest tragedy you have seen in this reality television angle with the paranormal? Biggest tragedy.
Biggest tragedy is that the people who do the grunt work, and I don't mean to offend anybody when I say that, but I'm talking about the hardcore investigators who actually go out and do the investigations, collect the evidence, speak to the people. They are under the misconception that if they get the smoking gun, that they're going to get their own TV show, they're going to get rich, and they're going to get famous. This is a myth that has been perpetrated by the networks.
Okay, and there's where you and I are going to completely agree on.
Yeah,
the networks are the problem, and the egos and the desire for people to get their 15 minutes of fame.
But you know, Larry, as a police officer, both you and I know that when it comes to an investigation that doesn't have anything to do with, let's say, a homicide or a crime against a person, but when we look at the white-collar crime, what is the rule number one? Follow the money.
Follow the money.
Yeah.
And, there's no doubt. Well, here's the kicker. I don't think there's a lot of money to be made by the grunt workers, the line people that are doing the investigations when they get an opportunity to get in the TV shows. There's no money there.
Nope. The money is made by the producers as well as the network. In fact, the producers, if you'll excuse the expression, television is a whore media.
Okay.
You know, it is. It is. They take, and they give nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not how we operate over here. It's the other way around.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, you know, like over here, we do what we call treatments, and we submit them to networks. Mm-hmm. And this is like when you're doing a negotiation, you slip that piece of paper over to the guy with a price on, then he slips it back to you. This is basically what a treatment does. And a treatment should be done in such a way that you don't show your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Many of these shows that you see on TV are produced by the groups themselves. And what they do is they tilt their hand to the networks or to a producer representing the network and say, well, this is what we want to do. This is what we can do. This is what we've got. And they spill the beans.
Uh-huh.
And once you spill the beans to the producer, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah.
Because you've given them the idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they can take your idea and go with it, and because you, first of all, didn't protect yourself with with the treatment. You didn't protect yourself with an agreement of confidentiality. And there are so many other things that groups who want to follow the path towards a TV show should do. So what they do is they produce their own shows, send it to the network. The network may say, yeah, we like it, or no, they don't. If they decide to air it, they'll get next to nothing.
Oh, and that story happens many times.
And what the network is doing is playing towards their ego.
And we're talking a lot about ego, but I don't honestly believe, and there's folks out there that are charlatans. You and I have talked about that before, but I think most of these folks just are decent folks that are excited about the opportunity, and they get taken advantage of. But
I agree.
Tell me something.
Sure.
Big time radio and television producer, dear friend of mine. What are we going to do to stop that? How do we get the opportunity to get the word out there, keep people interested, get the true facts out there, and keep it in the broadcast media? How do you think we should do that?
It's very simple.
Okay.
You talk the talk, you walk the walk.
Okay.
It is that plain, it is that simple. It's just like any other business. And when you look at the world of the paranormal, it is a business. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You have authors, you have, you've got tarot cards, you have Ouija boards, you have crystals, and the list goes on. Ghost research equipment. You've got the lectures, you have the seminars. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States and Canada. If anybody says there's no money in it, that is the biggest bunch of bunk going.
Well, there's money in it, just maybe not the person doing the grunt work.
Exactly. And these are the people who deserve the credit. These are the people who deserve the laurels. Now, by listening to you over the years and understanding where your head is, and Larry, I've said this behind your back, and I'll say it to your face. You, my friend, are credibility.
Well,
honesty and integrity. And this is why I am so happy to be involved with you in anything you do, because it's going to get done right.
Well, and I appreciate that. That vote of confidence means the world to me. But we've got to also start making it right. Now, as mentioned, a gentleman a few minutes ago, a gentleman that was down here a year ago,
Ryan Cano.
Mr. Cano.
Yeah.
And he shares this vision, but his biggest kick there, Rod, was it's too big of an undertaking. People have tried and they haven't done it. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not an acceptable answer to me. No offense to Brian. I mean, I know what he's saying, and I agree with him. People have tried. Maybe I'm just stubborn. Maybe I'm too stubborn for my own good.
No, that's not it at all, my friend. Do you know what the difference between a dream and reality is?
Go ahead.
Doing it.
Exactly. I'm with you, and that's where we're going to go with this. This is where we're going to go with this. And I'm here to all you folks out there that are hearing the show tonight. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes peeled. We'll be talking a little bit more detail later in the show about some things, but we are going to make a push to do what we can to bring credibility to those that deserve it, and get training and standards out there. We're going to make this work. We are going to turn the paranormal world on its side, and we are going to create standards and training. And we are going to find the answers, and we're going to do it together, all of us, all around the world. We're going to do this together.
Yes, we are. I have no doubt about it, Larry. I really have no doubt about it. And I must tell you something before I forget.
Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed the evening you took out of your time with your family and the Power Unity conference. That you actually took me on a private historical tour of Fellsmere.
Oh, well,
that
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I loved it, Larry. I truly loved it. And then when we went back to Marsh Landing and we actually saw members of your team with members of the public that were on a tour, and, I watched your team and how professional they are.
Well, they're good folks, no doubt about that.
I can see where your vision is just by watching your team. Your experience as a police officer, your experience as an instructor at the police academy. It seems, in my opinion, Larry, and this is only my opinion, that your life has been leading up to this moment.
Well, sometimes I guess I feel like that myself. Yep. I just feel like there's no coincidences. Things happen for a reason. And it's amazing you actually brought up the tour, and I'm really glad you enjoyed it. But I'm a big believer that if you're going to be work the ghost side of the paranormal world, you have to love history, because that's where it all begins. Yeah. That's where it all begins. Research and history is where we begin to put a lot of these things. Well, we put it all together.
Yeah.
You get information from an investigation. You have to research it. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And I'm certainly glad you watched my folks. They are pros.
Yes, they are.
And it's all about teaching.
Well, your experience as a teacher at the police academy certainly shows within your group, my friend. And by the way, I'd like to say hello to all the members of your group, your two sons, and of course Dan and Laura and Sherry and Jonathan. And if I missed anybody else, I'm sorry. It was great meeting you all and spending very precious time with each and every one of you.
Well, that's and a great. Sharon was out there. We had Carla, Katie, and Brandy. Yep. We had a great team out there, and that's team. See, that's where it's at.
That's it.
And that's where I want to talk with you more and your vision on teamwork and how do you see us, Rob? How do you see us begin bringing these teams together to begin to discuss, to open up the discussion on creating standards, creating training?
You've already done that.
Okay.
You've already done that. You did it last year while I was down at the conference. You did it this year. You've already done it, my friend. And what I saw between last year and this year was a totally different attitude towards teamwork. A good friend of mine, Mike Silver, who was the gentleman who invented Just Like Sugar, taught me something very, very important many years ago. He says, Rob, there's no I in team.
Exactly.
And you know what? Once again, I'm not blowing wind up your dress, and if you're wearing a dress, take it off because you should be wearing pants. I see teamwork with you. And this is what we need to get across the board, is that this is nothing that any one person will be able to solve by themselves. Whether you're a psychic, whether you're a medium, whether you're a dowser, whether you use crystals, whether you're a hardcore investigator using the technology of today, no matter what, you need all this information to be accumulated, to work together. And once again, the analogy that I use is that everybody that has an interest, a love of investigating the paranormal, has a piece of a jigsaw puzzle in their pocket.
Absolutely.
And all we need to do is get onto that big table. Everybody takes the piece of the jigsaw puzzle out, and we work together on putting the puzzle together. Okay, well,
I'm wanting your opinion. I totally agree with you. You know my vision.
Yep.
But how do you see us connecting the dots between Fellsmere and Vero Beach, Florida, Los Angeles, California, Hamilton, Ontario, Dublin, Ireland? How do you see us connecting? Because it can't be one small area.
No.
It's got to be an effort. How do you see that being accomplished?
Why don't I tell you on the other side of this break?
I was just going to say, we're getting closer. We get talking with this love fest we're having here. We get talking and we run out of time. So, folks, when we get back, we're going to start talking about how we're going to connect the dots. And you know what? We want you part of it. So stay tuned and listen. We'll be back on the other side in just a minute.
We're not going to sing Kumbaya and hold hands, play the guitar, and roast later. The marshmallows?
That's later.
Oh, okay.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
And we are back on Paranormal Stakeout. My guest tonight, the unbelievable Rob McConnell, and X-Zone Broadcast Network's guru. And while we're on that, I just want to make a quick mention that www.paranormalstakeout.com. That's where you can find all of my shows, and you can get a hold of me on that website. I'd like to hear from you. Reach out and tell me what you think of tonight's show. Tell me what you'd like to see in maybe some other shows also. I'd also invite you to check out my team's website at www.paranormalfbi.com, and that's where you're going to find out the latest information on the Florida Bureau of Paranormal Investigation, my own team down here. So, Rob, as we were talking before, you and I share the same interests. I'm sure that's not lost on or share the same vision. That's not lost on the viewers. But, I'm a local guy. Regardless of anything else, I'm a local guy. I'm working in an area in Florida. I know people in Florida. And, yes, we're having some success down here. But what's you're an international kind of guy.
Yeah.
What do you see? What's your vision of connecting these dots? Getting folks, not just in little old this part of Florida, but all over.
It's very
together
simple.
Working.
It's simple. Just like we're doing right now, Larry. You're in Vero Beach. I'm up here in Hamilton. We're doing an international interview. We're going to bring people together on the internet. We are going to use modern technology to help bring the world of the paranormal investigations together. We are going to be at the forefront of para-unity. That's why, Larry, I am so proud of you for forming Para-Unity International. Bravo to you.
It's pretty. Thank you. It's a pretty exciting time. Huge vision, and we need everybody. This is not a single person effort. We need everybody to get on board. So once again, we're on international radio station right now, or interview. We're talking. How do you see us connect? How do you see us getting together on the internet, on a website? Is that what your vision is on that?
Well, as I see it, there are several facets. Number one, we'll certainly use the radio network. Number two, we'll certainly use the television networks. Number three, we will definitely have a multi-phased website. And, of course, we're going to actually have a database where people who are accredited as paranormal investigators by yourself and your team, whoever that may include, will be granted access to the database. Now, another thing that I really love that you and I talked about is the classes, the webinar classes that you are going to be giving online, so that we'll be able to create a standard that is accepted by the organization, and the organized being the Para-Unity International. Somebody has to do it, my friend, and I'm so proud of you for stepping up to the plate.
Well, once again, Rob, it's got to be this team effort, and it's not going to be just Larry Lawson.
No, it's not. But
right.
This was your idea.
Well, okay.
This was your idea, and you know what I do here in rel-mar? I bring ideas to life. That's what I do. You know, my mother, God bless her, I love her dearly. She used to say when I was a kid, "I'm a dreamer." And yeah, the only difference between a dream and reality is doing it. And she says, well, you failed at times. No, I've never failed, Mom. They were all lessons towards success.
Well, and there's going to be failures and there's going to be roadblocks in this. But the vision, since you brought it to light here, is to get the top minds in the field. And I'm not talking just investigators, just scientists, but also, and you mentioned it earlier in the last segment, the mediums, the sensitives,
exactly.
The folks that
everybody
get them together, create a board for a term we'll use right now to create the standards. See, you and I both know in police work, that we have standards. We go to the police academy.
Yep.
We have to take additional training. We have to take training updates every year. We have to stay current.
Yep.
And that's the vision here, folks. And I want everybody out there listening to get excited about this because we need you part of this. This has got to be a worldwide team effort. And that's where we're going to head. We're going to create this board that's going to help create the standards that's going to be hopefully acceptable to most and begin to collect this data, begin to put it in a place where everybody can use it, everybody can share it, and connect, as I keep saying, my favorite word for tonight, connect those dots. Because without that, that's how we solve crime and police work.
Yep.
We share data between Canada and the U.S., different parts of the country. Heck, throughout the world, we share criminal information.
That's right. Yeah, because I know for a fact, that the United States, Canada, Great Britain, and all the other major countries, and even some of the minor countries, are all part of Interpol, the International Police Organization. And as a team, we all work together to do one thing, bring the bad guys to justice.
Yes, we do.
And Larry, once again, you and I spent a couple of hours discussing your vision. And what we're going to be doing is we are going to be bringing paranormal investigators, paranormal researchers, scientists, neuroscientists all together to work together to answer one question. Is there life after death? That's it. People have said, well, what do you do after that? What do you do after that? My Lord, the books are wide open. Can you imagine the amount of wonderful knowledge that we will be able to bring forward? Everybody will come to the table. Mind you, the church may not be too happy, but who cares?
Well, you know what? I don't know if I agree with that, Rob. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, yes, you just like in anything, you've got facets that have very strong beliefs and are completely unshakable. But I honestly think that with the answer to these questions, it's going to answer some religious questions. I don't think the religious community is going to be as negative on it as you think.
Do you know
I don't.
Well, it's either going to validate what they have said, or it's going to prove them to be wrong. And who cares as long as the answers get out there?
The answers are there, and
Exactly.
the answers have been honestly and appropriately collected and received
and validated.
And validated. That's where going back a little bit. You talked about the webinar trading a few minutes ago. Exciting stuff, because the plan there is to get folks that are true experts in the field to train folks how to. A lot of folks take equipment and they'll buy. We'll just say K2 meter, for example, and they know that it goes off when there's the possibility of paranormal activity in the area. But most people, Rob, do not understand the science behind it.
Do you know what really impressed me? One of the parts that impressed me on the tour is that you had, what was the meter you had with you, Larry?
It was a millimeter. Millimeter.
And, we'd be walking along or talking, and the thing would go off, and I'd look, and what's going on? And you say, oh, don't worry, it's just recalibrating. Or then we'd be walking and it would go off and I'd look and I'd say, well, what's going on? And you would give me the explanation. Not once did you say, oh, wait a minute, there's a ghost. That was so impressive.
Well, but that's the reality. And most investigators that I work with would do the same thing. So it's not just germane to Larry Lawson. Most good investigators will do that. But the problem is, so many out there, people with good intentions, Rob, people with good intentions, but get the equipment and they know just enough, for lack of a better term, just enough to be dangerous. They don't understand the science. They don't understand the other nuances of things that could create reactions.
Right.
And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing in the training seminars, is teaching people how to investigate. My personal expertise would be in the interview phase. That's the cop in me. Talking to the clients, talking to the witnesses, getting a handle on what they're really saying, not what their words are saying, but what they're really saying. So that would be an example of a training session on conducting interviews. And we're going to be doing training sessions on research. We're going to be doing training sessions on the actual pieces of equipment. A lot of the popular pieces that are out there. We want people to understand how they work, and we're going to get the folks that are involved in building those, hopefully involved in some of this training, so they can explain the science. Once you understand that, once you understand how it works, it makes more sense when you get the reactions, and you can logically explain it. Am I making myself kind of clear on that one?
You sure did, yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting, and I get all pumped up just talking about it, because I see this as the future, and I see folks wanting to do it the right way. I think most people, your charlatans are out there, but I think most people want to do it the right way. So that's another reason why I'm confident that this is going to work.
What as what I see is for the Para-Unity International is having state directors, and once again, while I was at the Para-Unity conference in Fellsmere last weekend, I can't believe it was only last weekend.
I know.
My gosh.
I know.
It was. We talked about other organizations that had a formula that was working. For example, MUFON.
Exactly.
They have the database. They have the report. They share the information. They have state directors that coordinate events throughout the states. All the information is shared. All the information is then channeled. And I think that this is one possible way that we could look at.
Well, the structure's there,
exactly.
And it certainly has been very successful for organizations like MUFON. So this is not reinventing the wheel.
Exactly. It's implementing it.
Right. And I think that we can do it. Now, the concept of ghosts, and you know what, we can even talk about expanding this to go on just ghosts and maybe cryptozoology, that type of thing, but focusing on ghosts. If this has worked for them, it can work for us.
Exactly.
And we've just got to get past the ego, the personal opinions, and come up with a game plan that's acceptable for everyone, a set of standards. I go back to that word standards. We have it as cops. I keep bringing that up. We have standards. Once you have standards, you've got something to go by. And it's easier for people to learn how to do it that way, too.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if other organizations, for example, within the cryptozoology world and other aspects of the paranormal, were to follow and do the same things that we are talking about? And once everybody's established, we all join forces?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, just the thought of that, my friend, would be huge. And you know something? Once again, not an impossible dream.
Nope.
We've just got to get together and work together. And there's a lot of folks that I'll be the first to tell you I know just enough about cryptozoology to be dangerous. I'm not a Bigfoot guy, but I've met a number of people, especially in recent times. A good friend of mine, Rob Robinson, he lives down here in Florida, is a great example of this. These are people that want to do it right and want to collect the evidence in order to come up with the answer. So there's no question we can put this all together and man, we're coming up on our last break again, aren't we?
We sure are, buddy.
Dang, it's just we're just flying here, folks. We're having a great time talking about this. Stick with us. We've got one last segment to go, so we'll be back in just a minute to continue this great conversation. Paranormal Stakeout. We'll be right back.
The Earth is under ever-increasing pressure from untenable lifestyles and growing populations. Yet, viable answers seem in short supply. What if I told you there's an ancient form that can empower you to take charge of your life? What if your entire family could be enfolded and supported by life itself, finding safe passage through challenging times? I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Art School, with great news: an upcoming series of leading-edge online affordable classes based in an ancient form of shamanism, easily learned and used by your entire family. Galactic Shamanism, Art of the Ancients, Key to Tomorrow are a series of online adult and children's lessons instructing your entire family on natural law, how to cooperate with and be supported by the powers of the universe. Visit findyourpathhome.com to find these unique and powerful classes.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
And we are back for this final section this week of Paranormal Stakeout with my guest, the one and only Rob McConnell. And Rob's been great having you on tonight, my friend.
Hey, listen, I have always a great time whenever I'm on your show, Larry. Once again, thank you very much for the hospitality that you showed Laura and I when we were down in Fellsmere. It was great meeting your crew again, and the people who attended the Para-Unity Conference this year were just super. And you did a great job. You did a great job.
Well, I appreciate it. It was, once again, a team effort. And speaking of team, the X-Zone Broadcast Network team has got some of the finest shows in the paranormal realm out there. And I want to encourage everybody, www.xzbn.net. I got that right, Rob?
You sure did, buddy.
I get on the website, check out the great programming on there, and listen to some of the great shows and hosts that are on the network. But most importantly, I want you to go to www.paranormalstakeout.com. Visit me, check out my shows, and this is one thing that I really want to get out to everybody listening tonight. I want your thoughts and ideas as we begin to develop this vision of the future. Cannot do it, ladies and gentlemen, without you. So I need you to go to my website. I need you to start sending me some your thoughts and comments. You can also get a hold of me at www.paranormalfbi.com. And I'll tell you what, I'll even give you my email, ghostguy59@gmail.com. Go ahead and get a hold of me. Tell me what your thoughts are. specifically try and get me www.paranormalstakeout.com. So please join us out there, guys. Now, let's talk about this vision of the future, Rob. I know that I'm excited about that. I don't know how you feel. I feel you've got the same level of excitement that I do with all this.
I do, because I, like you, see the possibilities. And as long as you have visions, man, you can move mountains. But we need the help of the listeners. We need the help of the paranormal community. We need the help of the researchers. We need the help of the investigators. This is not something we can do on our own. We can to a certain degree, but this is going to be a team effort.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of good folks out there, and once again, this is not a criticism, but I've seen a lot of good folks out there try to start their own little organizations to do similar things. And the problem is they're trying to do it on their own, probably with the greatest of intentions.
Yeah.
But I realize there's no question. It's got to be a worldwide team effort. So that's why, folks, we're wanting you to get a hold of us. Give us your thoughts as we begin to develop this. Be part of it. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. So get a hold of us and be part of it. Rob, I frankly see the X Zone being a big part of this too. You know, being a leader in helping us pull this together. Your thoughts on that?
Well, we'll do anything we can to help make this a great success, Larry, because we, like you, believe that this is something that has been sorely missed throughout the years, and that the sharing of the information, the sharing of standards needs to be implemented. Now, we're not trying to make this into a paramilitary outfit, not in the least.
No.
Just semblance of order, organization, policies, procedures, basically the right way to do it, the wrong way to do it. And, of course, the sharing of the information by the creation of the database.
And this is where everybody out there, once again, I'm going to harp on this again, has to be part of this. It's got to be a team effort. My vision for all of this is to eventually find the answers. And that's what all of us, folks, all of us need to be focused on. Not the TV shows, not getting our name out in lights, but coming to a conclusion about this age-old, probably the oldest question in the history of mankind. What's on the other side? And this is a great opportunity. I'm very excited, Rob, too, also about getting our friends in the mediumship world involved in this. Toughest thing I think to prove in the paranormal field is the readings received by those mediums.
The problem, as I see it, Larry, is that there's so much hokiness out there when it comes to the readings. And there are those unscrupulous people who are ruining it for those who really have the ability.
Oh, there's no doubt, and you know, you and I both know we get scam artists in all fields, but there's no question that's the toughest thing to prove and probably the easiest thing to fake. And I personally know some great folks out there that have done it. Mary Strauss, we had Mary Strauss at the conference. Great lady, terrific lady. Very, very, very impressed with her. Those are the kind of people that we need involved, and as part of this. The development of these standards, because folks, you've got to be in there too. You're as much part of this as us investigators that have no gifts like that. So we want you part of it. I also see the tech field being a major part of this. Albert Bell comes to mind.
Oh yes, definitely.
Oh, the man's brilliant. Here's a gentleman that is on the cutting edge of robotics in the paranormal, and we're excited about wanting him involved.
I think one of the big problems, though, Larry, with the tech side of the paranormal is that I really believe that the instrumentation that is being made is based on this side's technology, where we should be looking at what will connect with the other side.
Absolutely agree. I mean, and a lot of the technology really hasn't changed in the last 15 to 20 years.
Exactly.
So how do we fix that? We fix that by getting folks together in a think tank and coming up with new ideas and new answers. And they're out there. We just got to get them together once again in this type of a format. So you folks out there, the scientists, the tech folks, let me hear from you. And this is my plea in this segment of the show, is to let me know what you think. I know you're out there listening. Get with me. Now, what are we going to do? And I know you talked, Rob, about the broadcast media doing it more honestly and openly.
Yeah.
How do you, from your point of view, your side of it, how do you see yourself combating those out there that are just trying to sell a product to get listeners, and to hell with truth?
Expose them.
Okay, all right.
It's that simple. It's just like those people within the paranormal community who have ulterior motives other than the integrity and the base values that I would say the high majority of paranormal investigators have.
Okay, so it's I guess the question I'm trying to ask is how do we fight the big channels that just want listenership or viewership?
That's going to happen. That's happening on its own right now. Ratings are falling.
Really?
Ratings are falling because the viewers, whether the network chiefs who have a bottom line to maintain, realize it or not, are not as dumb as they think they are. You can only sell a car with sawdust in the transmission for so long before somebody takes it to a credible place and says, "Oh, you've got a lemon." Okay,
so that makes total sense to me. And I can remember the early days of some of the shows. I won't mention them, but they did investigations, but they actually did come up with evidence. And people were still watching it. Now, obviously, they decided to spice it up a little bit later on in their runs. But early in those shows, people were satisfied with just the work folks were doing and not always getting evidence. I remember that. So I still think there's an audience out there for people that just want to see honest work. Would you agree, or am I in a dream world there?
I agree and disagree at the same time.
Okay. Give me your thoughts.
All right. I agree that there are always going to be those people who watch television for the entertainment value. But they have to realize that it's entertainment. It's not reality. Even reality TV is anything but reality TV.
And this brings full circle to what I was talking about earlier in the show tonight. You're exactly right. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
Do you see a place in the media for folks that want to just watch real people doing the real work and seeing the real results? Do you think there's a place for that at all? Or is that just a dream world also?
No, that is a real place. There is a real place for that. The programming is being styled to be very unique to that channel, to those viewers. You're not going to have a ghost on every show. And this is where the reality of the realness of a paranormal investigation, where you don't always see something, you don't always hear something, you don't always get that EVP. But there are lessons to be learned in the show. And this is what we have to incorporate. The show, the entertainment, as well as the educational aspect.
And I think that if we can accomplish that, we really have brought it full circle.
Yeah.
We've gained our ability to keep the field in the forefront, in the mainstream, and at the same time being honest about it. And that's very exciting. I guess the webinar is another example of the real teaching to get folks to really understand what it's like to be a paranormal investigator. Rob, great show tonight, man. I just enjoyed chatting with you.
It's always great talking to you too, Larry.
Yeah. And folks out there, hear my plea. Get a hold of me. Let me know what you think. The time is now, folks, for all of us to band together to begin to change the paranormal research field for the better. Let's do it together, folks. Thanks for being with us tonight, and we will see you next time on Paranormal Stakeout.